We all know that when Bret Hart left the WWF to go to WCW, his run ended up being rather lackluster. Whilst he's a two-time WCW champ, it was basically one reign over 2 months that was filled with injury, and it was that subsequent injury that forced his retirement in the year 2000, so he never fulfilled his 4-year deal that he initially signed on for. So I've gone to TEW 2020 to see how he would actually get on without that injury and see whether he could have a more successful career in WCW. Okay then, so we are going to create a brand new game using the Chronicles 98 mod for 2020 by Fleesh. Obviously this is set in January 1998, it's as close to the Montreal Screwjob as we can get. And Bret Hart is with the WCW, so we're going to start the game with me, and we'll get there in a second and have a look at what we're going to do in this simulation. Okay then, here we are in-game, it is January the 1st, 1998, and we'll have a look at Bret Hart, who has just joined WCW. We've just had Starrcade 1997, so Sting is the WCW champ, and we've got a 4-year deal left for Bret Hart in WCW. He's already 40 years old, so he's probably in the twilight of his career, but let's see if he can have a better run than he did in real life. Obviously the 2 titles he won, we vacated it and won it back the same night, so it's only really one reign, and it was from November to January, and he was injured for most of January, so it wasn't fantastic. He starts out with 77 and 78 across the board, really, in the US and Canada in his popularity, and there's his title history. Obviously none of that will have changed just yet. 5-time WWF champion. We shall see how many times he wins the WCW title in this simulation. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to, well, before we do that, we're going to have a quick look at WCW. What we're going to do after we've looked at WCW is we're going to simulate forward 4 years and have a look at where we are in January 2002. So DDP is US champ. Sting, obviously the new world heavyweight champion. Steiner Brothers tag champs, and Booker T TV champion, but we'll see what happens in the simulation. We're going to quick look at the WWF, how we have left things as Bret's left. Shawn Michaels is now the kingpin, at top of the pile. Triple H will be European champion, but Shawn Michaels is the current 3-time WWF champion. The Rock is on his rise as well. We'll see if he gets up there. Obviously we'll look through WWF after we've gone through WCW. But obviously the champions as they are at the beginning of 1998, with the New Age Outlaws now the tag champs as well. Right then, we shall simulate here. We'll go forward 4 years, as I said, and see what happens essentially with Bret Hart's career. See if he can have a better run of things and not retire 2 years into the game. That would be fantastic. 4 years have been simulated. As we can see, Bret Hart at the end of 2001 has been awarded the Wrestler of the Year for the 4th time, which I think might be the 4th time in a row. It is the 4th time in a row. So his stint in WCW has been very successful. He's won the Wrestler of the Year award in all 4 years of the simulation. Right, let's have a look at what he's actually been getting up to then, shall we? He's extended his deal with WCW. He's Wrestler of the Year for 4 years, ranked number 1 at 4 years in a row. He's 95% towards achieving a Hall of Immortals induction, and he's only won 1 WCW title, but he's held it for half a year, defended it 8 times, probably a much better reign as WCW champion than what happened in the real world. But we shall have a look, and we'll have a look at his match history. He's beaten David Flair on the last Nitro of the year by the look of things. If we skip down through the years, in fact, this is the best way to do this. The highest rating in 1998 is 99. So we got a 97 out of a DQ victory over Marty Jannetty at the end of the year. His 99 rating is somewhere here against Dean Malenko in July, was that? Yeah, Dean Malenko in July, just off the back of a Great American Bash 98 against Randy Savage. We'll look at title matches. They are the important ones. And we'll go through. So he first got a first title match in April 1999, against Ric Flair. Had a feud, basically feuded with him for about for about a year and a half nearly, and then finally won the title. Great American Bash 2000. Defeated Shawn Michaels is in WCW as well. Okay, that's interesting. Bret Hart hung on to the title really well, actually. Plenty of great defenses, but then lost on the Nitro in December, which is very, very WCW. Why not at Starrcade? Raven is the WCW champion at that point, but why was that not at Starrcade? So they've basically had a couple of back and forth matches on Nitro, and Raven's now the champion as we head out of 2000. His top 25 matches, let's have a look at those. So a 100 rating in 1999, uncensored against Sting. But each year, that 99 against Malenko in 1998 was his best match. Plenty of big matches. In fact, he's tagged with Shawn Michaels less than a year after the Screwjob. They've buried the hatchet, haven't they? 1999 was where he got his 100 rated match against Sting. He's tagged with Vader at one point as well, called The Filthy Scum, which is an interesting tag team name, but plenty of good matches. The year 2000 looks like he's not been used as much, but he has still won pretty much every single match apart from, so this was when he was champion, so he's basically been in angles more than matches, but apart from that defeat against Raven, which was his 10th best match of the year, he's won all of the other ones. Still not really lost it, still getting 98s, 99s, plenty of 99s in 2001. In fact, that's an unfortunate tag team name with Chris Benoit, Apocalypse, but he's had a great run of matches. He's got several really good matches out of Norman Smiley, of all people. But that was the year 2001, and obviously we've not done anything in 2002 just yet, but he's still at the peak of his powers. His popularity is really high as well. We'll have a look at what this broken friendship is as well here. So he's no longer friends with Davey Boy Smith. Fair enough. But he is, apparently, okay with Shawn Michaels. I'm not sure what that is all about, but never mind. If we look at his personal info, he's still got hatred of Vince McMahon, but no problem with Shawn Michaels whatsoever. And no other tag teams anymore. That run with Benoit and Vader in different tag teams doesn't appear on that list for some reason. Popularity, as we mentioned, is now 91 pretty much across the board. It's gone up from high 70s to low 90s over the 4 years. So he is pretty much at his peak still at 44 years of age. His skills are still really high. That psychology is up there in the high 80s, low 90s. Experience is 100. In-ring stats, pretty impressive, as you'd expect for a wrestler who has won Wrestler of the Year for the last 4 years in a row. No real injuries either, so that is excellent news for Bret Hart. Right, let's have a look at how on earth Shawn Michaels has ended up in the WCW, and what will... Oh, in fact, before we'll do it, let's have a look. Let's see what has happened. He's got some hatred going on there as well, and he's now working for WCW and has been since June 1998, by the look of things. Yep, so he's hired by WCW, gone in the 1st of July, sorry, he's left the WWF, and then an Edge China affair has caused hatred between Shawn Michaels and both of them. That needs looking at. He's extended his contract with WCW as well recently. Can we have a look at China? No, we can't. We need to go back to the main screen here. This screen here, the work screen. So we'll go to China here. We'll jump to China. She's left the WWF, and I imagine quite a lot of people hate her because she cheated on Triple H with Edge in October 2000, which is incredible for a number of reasons. But she left the WWF at the beginning of 2001 and is now working for a couple of smaller promotions. We'll have a look at Edge, see if he's still with the WWF. He is. He's extended his deal since the scandal. So he's cheated on China has cheated on Triple H with Edge. Everyone now hates Edge in the clique, but he's still with the WWF. And Triple H is still with the WWF as well. We're going to check that. In fact, yes, he's WWF champion. That's incredible. So, wow, that is interesting. So Triple H has not married into the McMahons. But he's not with China still either because she has cheated on him with Edge. We'll have a look at the WCW. We'll go back to what we were actually looking at. So the Spring Stampede 1999 was the best pay-per-view they've held. Bret Hart, Ric Flair, the main event for the world title. Flair having a great match, 97. Hart carrying Flair to a 97 is pretty good in 1999. And the next best pay-per-view was the Great American Bash, which I believe the same title match, but Hart winning the title this time. And I keep clicking twice when I should only click once. This one was only a 90 rating, but Hart putting a much better performance. Flair dragged it down again a little bit. Right, so they were the top events, and Bret Hart appears in everything. 9 out of the top 9 matches are Bret Hart matches, and Norman Smiley appears a couple of times as well, which is brilliant. Right, titles. Let's have a look at the World Heavyweight title in WCW. So Sting lost it back to Hogan in March 98, who dropped it to Flair in September, who held on until 1999, the June of 99, lost it to Nash, picked it back up at Starrcade, lost it to Bret Hart, who then lost it to Raven, and Raven held on until July when it was vacated for some reason, and Hollywood Hogan became the champion once again. Dave Taylor is the US champion. He's had a good run. It's gone all around. Mongo's won it a couple of times. Eddie's won it 3 times. Davey Boy Smith's won it twice. But Dave Taylor is now the US champion. TV title has gone everywhere. Ultimate Dragon's won it 5 times. Liz Mark, the current champ. Harlem Heat are 11-time tag team champions. They've gone back and forth with Dave Taylor and Steve Regal. The Steiners in there as well. Basically, those 3 teams passing the titles between them. Harlem Heat now 11-time tag team champions of the world in WCW. Davey Boy Smith and the Ultimate Warrior were tag team champions as well. Very recently in 2001, the Cruiserweight title is vacated, but it looks like it's been a Jannetty, Mysterio, Benoit passing the title around. Sixers held it a couple of times. Malenko held it a couple of times as well. Jericho and Ultimate Dragon at the beginning of the save. There we go. That is WCW. And interesting. JBL and Michael Cole have both joined WCW actually as well, which is interesting. But we'll have a look at the WWF and see what's been going on there. They are still the ranked top in the world. Ranked first in the world. It's still the WWF as well. It's not been moved over to WWE. But No Mercy 2001 was their best pay-per-view, headlined by Triple H defeating Cactus Jack to retain the WWF title. Flash Funk up there as well in the co-main event. Owen Hart still doing well as well. In fact, Owen Hart was involved in the best tag match in WWF history, the SummerSlam 98 countout victory for Austin and Hart against Shamrock and One Man Gang, but plenty of different people involved in the top matches there. Viscera, European champion. Triple H is the current 2-time WWF champion. If we look through here, so Michaels held on to it until June, just before jumping ship to WCW. Undertaker's won it a few times, 5 times now. Austin is a 2-time champ. Rock's held the title. Shamrock twice. Owen Hart, Cactus Jack have both won the title. So Owen Hart gets the WWF title in this run, which is fantastic. He took the title for a few months in 2000. Austin's won a couple of Rumbles. Shamrock and then Undertaker winning the last 2. The Executioner is the Intercontinental Champion. Vince McMahon won the title as well at one point. Kane's won it a couple of times. Viscera having a decent run. Goldust in there. Triple H a couple of times as well. Plenty of mixed bag of title changes in the WWF. I'm guessing it's gone over a lot of title changes. Is Vince Russo still in the WWF by this point? Probably. European title is a lot of title changes that we're not going to cover. Viscera, current 3-time champion. Anyone of interest in here winning the title? The Sultan, Tiger Ali Singh. Triple H started the game obviously there. But that is the European title. Light heavyweight title. Pantera, 8-time champion. Taka, 7-time champion. It's been passed around a lot again as well. That's quite a lot. Brian Christopher winning the title 4 times as well by the look of things. Flash Funk a few times. Pantera, current 8-time champion. Tag titles are currently held by Too Much. Brian Christopher and Scott Taylor. So that's good. It looks like the Outlaws have been basically the team to beat. They've won it about 10 times by the look of things. Blackjack's winning it a couple of times. Jack and Pierre winning the tag titles in 1999. Blackjacks, Road Warriors, New Age Outlaws, 9-time champions. They'll probably win it again very soon. They've just dropped it to Too Much. Right, we've looked at the Royal Rumble. It's the King of the Ring. So Jerry Lawler won the King of the Ring, finally getting himself crowned Double King. Then Goldust, Mark Merrow, and Edge, despite his scandal with China, winning the King of the Ring in 2001, just like he did in the real world, just without the scandal. A quick look at ECW as well. Who is champion over there? Shane Douglas, the franchise 8-time champion. He's won it several times since the save began. I think he was a 4-time champ before the save. King Kong Bundy getting a good late run. Taz finally winning the title in 2001. Bobby Fulton being ECW champion as well. So ECW still being an eclectic mix. The Dudleys are 14-time ECW champions. I'm guessing that means they're still with ECW, but they've basically won the title every other change. The Nasty Boys, their most recent rivals before Mr. Hughes and Head Shrinker Samu, an unlikely team, take the tag titles, and Road Warrior Animal is the current television champion. So the franchise held it. Taz won it 5 times in the end. Terry Funk getting a title reign at the end of 1999 as well. Bobby Fulton, Sabu, Bam Bam winning it 3 times. Mark Merrow coming into ECW as well. But there we go. That is a very interesting 4-year simulation. The idea was to see how Bret Hart got on in WCW, but so many things happened elsewhere that it was worth looking at as well. So Owen Hart won the WWF title, which is fantastic news. He's not ranked that highly in the Power 500, but as a WWF champion in the past, that is very good for his career. And Bret Hart, obviously, only the single reign as the WCW champion, but a very much better reign, and putting over Raven to win the title just before Starrcade, which is bizarre. But he is Wrestler of the Year 4 times, and he's very nearly in the Hall of Immortals. So that is Bret Hart's run. So if you've enjoyed this video, it's been a very interesting look at what's happened over a 4-year simulation. Let me know in the comments down below some more simulations you'd like to see, any other mods you'd like me to look at as well, and do some alternative histories. But if you've enjoyed this one, I think we're going to do a Shawn Michaels Bret Hart switch in 99. Even though Shawn Michaels has gone to WCW anyway in this simulation, I think it'd be interesting to see what would happen in the WWF with Hart still there and Michaels over in WCW, probably joining the NWO. But we shall see. That will be in a future video. If you've enjoyed this one, there are going to be some videos over here which will be interesting to you as well. And if you're new to the channel, obviously remember to hit the like button on this video, but hit the subscribe button, which is about here. So thank you for watching here on Anderzbaz Gaming, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.